for you, madame.
Hello, I'm Jeanette Bussard, owner of Sewciety Boutique, a quilting and sewing studio in Bluffton, South Carolina. I have a question for you. Do you struggle to apply binding to your quilts? Do you think it's tedious to draw diagonal lines to piece your binding strips together? Or do you get sloppy results if you don't? Are you not happy with your mitered corners? Is it obvious where your binding started and stopped on your quilt? Or do you have a hard time getting the ends of the binding to fit properly, resulting in an annoying bubble to deal with at the end? If you answered yes to any of these questions, these videos are here to help you get your desired results. This class is here to help you piece your binding strips together quickly and accurately, create consistently beautiful mitered corners, and finish the ends of your quilt so that you absolutely cannot tell the difference between it and any other binding seam. And the ends will fit perfectly, no more annoying bubbles. During these videos, we will use the Sewciety Boutique Binding Miter tool. The tool comes with written instructions, but I think you will find that these videos are much easier to follow and understand than the written instructions. I recommend that you subscribe to my channel and like each video so that you can easily refer back to these tutorials again in the future. In part 1, we will piece our binding strips together with seams attractively set on the diagonal, and all we will need to do is cut, pin, and sew. There is no need to draw diagonal lines onto our binding strips. We will also press our seams open and press the binding in half in preparation for applying the binding to the quilt. In part 2, we will sew our binding to the quilt and create mitered binding corners. In part 3, we will finish the ends of our binding with a diagonal seam, press the seam open, and finish stitching the binding to the quilt. In part 4, we will press the binding up in preparation for wrapping it around the edge of the quilt. We will hand stitch the corner miters in place, ensuring perfect results, and we will wrap the binding to the front and machine top stitch into place. Without any further delay, let's get started on part 1, piecing the binding strips together. I have cut my strips 2 1/4 inches wide. The binding miter tool will accommodate any width binding up to 2 1/2 inches wide. I used to piece my binding strips like this. I would place 2 binding strips on perpendicular lines on my cutting mat, right sides together. Take a small ruler and draw a line diagonally across the strip laying on top from corner to corner. I would then pin strips together, take them to my sewing machine, and sew on the drawn line. After sewing the strips together, I would then trim the fabric to leave a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That method may look familiar to you, and I used to use this method for years. I don't piece my strips this way anymore. Instead, I stack my strips, right sides facing up, along a horizontal line on my cutting mat. I am comfortable cutting as many as 3 strips at a time. You will need to decide for yourself how many strips you can comfortably cut at a time. I then align my binding miter tool with a 45-degree point facing to the lower right along the bottom edge of the stacked strips. Once that is aligned, I cut all 3 strips along the 45-degree angle. Notice that the tool has 2 lines on it, line number 1 and line number 2. Those lines are key to using the binding miter tool. I will now flip my tool over so that the 45-degree point is facing the upper left. I align the bottom edge of the tool with the lower edge of the binding strip. And I align line number 1 with the 45-degree edge that I just cut. I then cut off the little dog-ear point. We can now move to the other end of the stacked strips and cut those ends as well. Just as we did before, I align my binding miter tool with the 45-degree point facing the lower right along the bottom edge of the stacked strips. It is important to note that the 45-degree angles are cut in the same direction. You want to create a parallelogram, not a trapezoid. Once the tool is aligned, I cut the strips along the 45-degree angle. Now we will cut these dog ear points off as well. Flip the tool over again and make sure that line number 1 is aligned with the 45-degree edge that you just cut, and that the top of the tool is aligned with the top of the strips. Cut off the dog ear points. I will continue and cut the remaining strips that I need for my project in the same manner. With the dog ear points cut off, we can now easily match the ends, pin, and sew. Simply match the strip ends, right sides together, perpendicular to each other, and pin. The cut dog ears make aligning the strips a breeze. I will now chain stitch my strips together with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Then I will cut the chains apart. When this is finished, I am ready to take my pieced binding to the ironing board. I will press my seam allowances open . Then press the entire strip in half lengthwise. Once we are finished pressing, the binding is ready to apply to our quilt. Thank you so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope that this series of videos helps you to create binding on your quilts that you can be truly proud of. The next video in this series will be part 2, where we will attach the binding and create beautiful mitered corners. Please subscribe to my channel and like the videos so that you can easily access them again in the future. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to put those in the comments section. Thank you so much.